how blessed I am to follow that testimony that began with the story of love of parents, an amazing love of adoptive parents, and a transformative love of partnership. This summer, I was learning with a student of mine, and I asked her about her family's traditions. She said that her grandmother would light Shabbat candles, Sabbath candles, every single week. She would bring the light towards herself as we do in our tradition. She would cover her eyes, and she would wait. But unlike the rest of us, who will then say a blessing, praising God for hallowing us by giving us the commandments to light the Sabbath lights, she would remain silent. The student asked her grandmother one week, "Grandma, do you not know the blessing?" She said, "I know the blessing. I will honor the tradition and I will pass it on to you, but to him, it will not say a prayer." The Jewish people live in a moment of contradiction. We often talk of the survivors, of the lost faith. And yet, at the same times, we're reminded time and time again that those in the camps sang, practiced faith, said prayers 3 times a day, and said the following words. In Hebrew first, Ani ma'amin be'emuna shlema b'mavbiach hamashiach ani ma'amin. I believe with my whole heart in the coming of the Messiah, and though he may tarry, I believe in my heart that God will send the Messiah to save us. So we live in a moment of contradiction, where for the generations who perished, faith died with them as well. I chose this passage from Isaiah because I'm the first generation in my family to be able to say it with earnesty. My grandparents, my parents struggle so much to find any sliver of faith in the world in which they live. And yet, 2 generations later, I look at my circle of friends and I see how many of the beloved members of my community are descendants of survivors. And so I say, I do not fear, and I am not dismayed, for I have faith in God, and I feel God strengthening me and my family and my community every single day. We live in a contradiction, in a space between the disbelief of the horrors of loss and a covenant that has survived millennia. And so I'm grateful to be surrounded in this community of faith, committed to bear witness of both the possibilities of human compassion and the awesome commitment that God can have to a people and that a people can have to God.